Hey guys, it's Jim here. I got a few things I want to talk about today because I'm frustrated, but I want to make it really clear. I'm not angry and I'm not sitting here wanting to bash any company. I'm going to mention a few of them, not just Line 6, because I've had multiple different products kind of not work exactly as they're advertised out of the box. And when you're actually playing gigs, it's a lot different from filming YouTube videos, so it impacts your paycheck, because if any of these problems that you're about to see in this video were to happen live, it would be an absolute freaking disaster. But before that, again, I've had nothing but positive experiences up until this point with Line 6, and while I've been dealing with this issue with Line 6, they've been pretty cool, and I don't want to bash the company. So with that being said, I want to start with the issues that I'm having with the Helix Stadium and why I returned it before I started filming today's video. I'll start with the small stuff, since some other people seem to be having some similar problems, and that's with snapshots. I save them. I'm not positive it's actually saving or not. If I switch off of it and I go back, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and I feel like I'm always just not sure enough to be able to trust it, so I just kind of stopped using snapshots altogether. I was just building basically presets where I'd have the amp in it, and then I would just have using it like a pedal board, you know what I mean? So all my effects and then my external effects that were running outside of Helix Stadium were going through the effects loop, and that was working well enough as it is. But the real thing that made this a serious problem, and the reason that I decided to message Line 6 on the 30th of December, was because of the noise that you are about to hear. And I want to warn you, if you're wearing headphones, I would highly recommend turning your volume down. So that happens. I want you to imagine the reaction if you were booked at a wedding gig. That sound happens 45 seconds into the first dance. Do you think the bride is letting you walk out of that building or facility alive? Because I don't like my odds at that point. And it would be understandably so, because, dude, what the hell? And the problem with that is it's random. That noise randomly happens, and the only way to get it to go away is if you change off the preset you're on. So even if you were to take the approach that I did, that kind of like, you know what, I'll just build the amp, I'll build out all the effects so I don't have to change snapshots or do anything like that, sometimes it still just happens anyways. So it's a problem that is ongoing, and Ben over at the customer support or Line 6 been responding to emails telling me little things to try, and we haven't really found a resolution yet. And it took a while to even get the offer for an RMA, which I ended up declining, because at that point I said, you know what, I'm gonna wait it out with the Helix. But while I was doing all of that kind of troubleshooting and taking his advice and trying different things to get the stadium to work, I needed something else, because I've been operating at a place that needs me to have a silent stage, and I'm using amplifiers most of the time. And honestly, I'm really addicted to the stereo sound. So I ordered a Tone King Imperial preamp pedal. I took that out of the box, plugged that in, and this is the sound that makes. With the Imperial, very simple rig, just the XLR out, going into that one input, no nonsense, okay? So on the dirty channel, this is going to be really hard. Nothing. Clean channel, what do you know? That popping we heard through the headphones, now it's coming through here. Try and push the ground. That don't do nothing. Turn reverb off entirely. Now it's just, yeah. Just to make sure I wasn't totally losing my sanity, I decided to make sure that the problems weren't coming from my end as far as bad power or anything like that. I tried the factory power supply that came with that, and I also tried using my Chios DC7 that goes into my radio rack mount power conditioner. All the other gear operates just fine, but even after updating the firmware on the Tone King, I thought maybe that might solve that problem, but no, alas, that thing didn't even make it a full day before I had just a straight up return label for that. And I was left sitting like, you know what? I loved the way that the Helix Stadium sounded. I really do. I think it's so convenient. I love the fact that you do have the XLR input, so you can even run vocal through it if you wanted to. You have so much routing flexibility. The thing is great, but I just can't freaking trust it. And for the amount of money that I spent on it, and I got a discount, I still feel like Nah, I couldn't do it. At the end of the day here, yeah, I am frustrated. I said it earlier in the video, but I'm not mad. I know that these things take time, but one thing that I never will understand why Line 6 did this with this specific launch here is they asked the community if they wanted it released earlier or if they were cool with waiting a little bit longer. And the overwhelming response from the community from what I saw is, we don't care, we want it now. Going forward into the future, I would never listen to the community for something like that. Of course, if you dangle something that they're super excited about their face, they're going to not care. They're going to say, oh, I'm not going to have problems. I want it now. I'll take it. We could avoid all that. Just work a little bit longer to make sure that these sorts of things don't happen. And then we're not doing these silly videos. And honestly, the only reason I'm filming this one to begin with is because I always feel like it's my responsibility to do so as one of these dumb content creators. When I first got the Helix Stadium, I raved about it because I hadn't had any problems yet. The thing sounds great. I cannot emphasize this enough. When that thing is working, it is lights out. I love it as a digital solution. It's not a replacement for a tube amp. Don't get it twisted. But at the end of the day, it did what I needed it to do, and it did well. I loved it. I thought it was great. Problems, though, it render it so if you actually want to go out and you want to make money using it, I don't trust it. That's it for today. That's really all I wanted to say. Appreciate you making it through this kind of a mess of a video. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm sick of troubleshooting things. I just want something that's going to work, and that'll be the next video that you guys see on this channel because I think I found a stopgap sort of solution and it might end up being something that sticks around for the long haul. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.